So what we're going to be doing today is service the brake, lubricate everything, maybe clean up the paint on the calipers, and replace some brake hardware as well. You can hang your calipers or set them on something. I use a bucket. It works well. You don't want to hang your caliper by the brake hose, so go ahead and break your 17mm Caliper bolts. One on the top, one bottom. And you pull them out. If your pads are loose, you should be able to slide. Actually, on these you can slide the caliper right off. And it's going to go on the bucket. Those are caliper pad cushions. On these there's also 2 springs. Pull your pads out. Check your pads for wear. This one's getting close. This one has been rubbing in the past. That's why it's so low. The other ones are all good. Keep them separate. You don't want to mix up sides. That one's much better. You can take these off to clean them or leave them on. I'm going to leave them on for now and wire brush them. I'm also going to pull my slide pins out. I'm going to replace these. I've got some new ones. I'm going to replace the boots too. But I'm going to clean up, paint these first, then replace the boots so I don't have to mask, keep stuff up. See, these are starting to rust and get contaminated, so we'll put some new ones on. Now I'm going to take off the Caliper Bracket. So switching to the 18mm, and we may need the breaker bar. It has a lot more torque on it. Yeah, those are broke. We'll spin them out. Go. So for the brake service, I'm going to start by wire brushing the pad slide. I'm just leaving it on the caliper because it's easier to hold these things. Brake dust on here. It's mostly just brake dust. Alright, let's brake clean. And then for now, you can pull them off and either continuing cleaning them up or set them aside. Our bracket, I'm going to go ahead and give that some paint. Actually, we're going to have to get all the brake dust off of it and then brake clean it off and then paint it. Okay, our paint's dry. We're going to replace our caliper slide pins and boots. And you're going to want some brake grease. It's silicone based, so it can withstand the heat. And I've got new slide pins. These are Carlson. You can get them on Amazon. I'll put a link in the description below. And the boots are Carlson as well. And they fallen out somewhere. Let me just go get those. So just one thing to note, these come in packs of 4, so you need to buy 1 package. These come in packs of 2, so you need to buy 2 packages if you're going to do all of your brakes. So these, we'll pull these out. Our old pins, dirty. They're not too bad. They could be cleaned up and reused, but they are starting to rust. And they're out of the way. Again, same thing. And replace these as well. These could have easily been reused. They're fine. It's just nice to get all clean, fresh hardware in there. I'm going to rag and just wipe out that a little bit. So the one end has kind of a little lip, and that's going to go inside. That. Like so. The nice thing about these kits is they come with the new bolts as well. Pins. Get some grease on there. The boot kind of snaps over the pin. And it slides really well, which is what we want. See, look how easily these slide. That's what you want. The boot's enough to push it back. Okay, so we will reinstall this back on the truck. Okay, so the next step will be to reinstall our caliper bracket. And we've got our new pins and rubber things. It's only going to fit one way. Caliper bolts. Those are the 18s. Probably getting back on that, these quicker. Unarmed. Okay, we need to reinstall our slides. That's what you call them. And we need a little bit of grease. So the pads ride in here. So I'm just gonna put a little bit of grease in there. On 4. Okay. Careful you don't get any of that grease on the rotor. Push those down. Like that. So next up, we're gonna put our pads on. I'm just gonna give this a wipe off. I did spray these down with some brake clean, but there's still some dust on the back. Okay, put them on the same way that they came off, remembering which side they were on. And just set them up against the rotor. And there's 2 springs holes. Some people grease up the whole back of the pad, or grease up the piston where it contacts the pad. These pads and rotor came with these piston cushions, or pad cushions they call them, I think. So I'm just going to put grease on that. And that goes in the piston, brake piston. Just spreading the tab so it has some pressure to stay in there as I fall it out. Okay, put this on the top. Good. I didn't show it on camera, but I pushed the pads back in, the pistons of the caliper in. I opened up the bleed port when I did that and bled out some of the old fluid that was in the caliper, and that way the brakes will go on easier. Alright, I'm messing up my new paint already, but we'll wipe it off when we're done. I'm going to put the top bolt in, never new ones. Make sure you're putting your caliper back on the same correct way. The bleed port was at the top. And these, the new slide pins, I'll have a flat spot. That lines up a certain way with the caliper. Alright, I'll get my ratchet wrench. And the torque spec on those are 32 foot-pounds. That's going to be 17. Is not that tight. Not sure why it's not. Oh, good. There, it's tight enough. I pulled it in a bit and that helped. So we got it to spec. We're going to get that 10 mil and hook up this bracket again. We'll have to reattach that ABS sensor cable to the bracket. So our ABS sensor is going to go over like that. Not the best paint job, but it will keep it protected. No one's going to see much of this anyway. You can only see maybe 5% of it. So when we first get in the truck, we'll have to pump the pedal a few times, and that will take up the slack in there. But you can see it moves nice and freely, which is what we want.